somebody else is paying. Now, one of the ways to do that is actually focusing a bit on the process and not so much on the outcome of the game itself. How many of you are into European football, soccer? How many of you have an interest in that? Anybody of you not have an interest but just watching it once in a while? Okay, yep. Now, what is kind of interesting, you probably all know the Spanish club Real Madrid. It's one of the most known clubs in the world. Okay, you don't even have to be into soccer, football to have an interest in that. But they're one of the leading teams in the world. Some people would argue with me, but they are, okay? Anyway, back in 2006, they were having the best players in the world, okay? The best players money could buy. They were having the best sponsors in the world who were happy to pay millions and millions and millions of euros in order to sponsor the club. And every weekend, 80,000 people turned up to watch them play. Everybody was excited, players were motivated, the sponsors were happy, everybody was happy, except a few people. That was the executive level of the club. They were not happy with the sporting results because the club were not winning a lot, which was kind of annoying because they were having the best players money could buy, they were having all the sponsors they could get, and they were having a very, very happy audience who were supporting the club every weekend. But they were not really winning the Spanish Cup and the Champions League and stuff like that. They were, they were coming close, but they were not really winning. So in Spain, they decided at the executive level, we have to find and hire the best soccer coach we can find in Europe. So they went to Italy. There was an Italian coach called Fabio Capello. Anyone of you heard of that guy? He's one of the best coaches in Europe. So they hired the guy, paid him a fortune and said, you have one simple task, make Real Madrid win everything. And he did. 1 year later, Real Madrid won everything they possibly could win. But you know what? That was a major disaster. Because all of a sudden the audience stopped turning up at the games because it started to be quite boring football. The players were very demotivated, didn't really want to play, trying to get away to other clubs. And the sponsors started to reduce their support because there was no supporters attending the games anymore. So from a financial and business point of view, it was a great disaster that Real Madrid suddenly started to be successful in their sport. Isn't that kind of interesting? What is the teaching point in that? Now guys, do you know how much of your time could actually be translated into negotiating? All of your communication time, if you take all of your communication time with other people, out of that in percentage, how much of that could easily be identified as some kind of negotiation? Where you're trying to convince somebody else about something, where you're trying to persuade somebody about something, or when you want to make an influence coming through to somebody, in percentage.